The action thriller Man on Fire is certainly an interesting one. This was my first time looking at this film, and I have to say that even nearly 20 years later, this one holds up pretty well in my opinion. Directed by the late Tony Scott, the story of this one is that it takes place in Mexico City. A former CIA officer who is now a bodyguard, he goes on a revenge rampage in order to save a 9-year-old girl named Lupita. Now, I knew about this movie for years, and the reason I didn't get around to it is because, well, Denzel Washington, he has so many films in his filmography. And while some of these characters don't have enough screen time for us as an audience to really have a connection with, the father-daughter relationship of John Cressy and Lupita definitely keeps this film afloat. In the beginning, Lupita asks John all of these personal questions, and of course he gets annoyed with her, but after a while, she actually grows on him. Everything else, though, it was done really well in my opinion. The story, the acting, the music, and just how this film does a decent job of providing some quality entertainment. Is this one of the best Denzel Washington movies out there? Personally, I don't believe so, but it does enough in here to be an entertaining watch and not a outright bore fest. The chemistry between Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning is the best thing in this movie. Certainly, knowing that John Cressy, he's looking after Lupita, she's like a daughter to him. I like how both characters bond real well, so when Lupita gets kidnapped, it has that emotional impact. I mean, I cried at one point near the end of this movie. Not only that though, but I thought the acting from Christopher Walken, it was okay. I mean, the interactions between him and John Cressy, they're not boring, but it wasn't great either. I kind of wish I knew more about that character. And then there's Mickey Rourke playing a lawyer. He's in the movie, but he's not in it for that long. Basically, it's all about John Cressy doing whatever it takes to get Lupita back. Now, I haven't read the 1980 novel or seen the original movie that this one is based on, but I heard mixed reception about the 1987 film, so maybe one day I'll check it out. At the end of the day, I still would recommend this movie to people who hasn't seen it because despite its flaws, it is still quite an enjoyable action film. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. The main problem I have with this one is that it's a tale of two halves. In the first half is the good character development between the two main leads, but in the second half, the film feels a little bit uneven because it's all about John trying to get Lupita back. And it just completely doesn't focus on any of the other characters all that much. And because of that, the film suffers a little bit for it. Overall, when it comes down to it, yeah, it could have been better in my opinion, but at least it did enough here where I didn't want to watch something else because I was infested with these two characters, and this whole film just kept my interest all throughout it. And that's my review of Man on Fire. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.